Talking about Chud Watch. We talk about chuds and make fun of them. Woo! And starting us off on tonight's Chud Watch, Ted Nugent. I kind of liking this community notes feature on Twitter/X. So Ted Nugent post, if pedophile is just sexuality, then burying them all is just gardening. First off, he's trying to plant the seed that the left somehow is encouraging, trying to normalize pedophilia when no such thing is happening. The left wants no part of minor attracted persons maps. We speak out against that way more than you guys do. We attack pedophilia way more than the right does. Actual pedophiles. I mean, you guys make up pedophiles and actually run interference for real pedophiles while you focus attention on fake pedophiles and drag queens. But the left actually is the one that's fighting pedophilia against it. But Ted Nugent, probably the last person on earth that should be talking about this shit, as the community notes pointed out. Ted Nugent has a history of inappropriate relationships with underage girls, which include claims of having engaged in intercourse and becoming the legal guardian of a minor because he couldn't legally marry her, and writing a song about wanting to have sex with a 13-year-old. Yeah, but hey, he's conservative, so none of that matters. They only care about fake pedophiles, gay people, and trans people, and drag queens. Actual pedophilia, they don't give a shit about that at all. They support sex traffickers and pedophiles all day long. They'll even take their own children to the church, drop them off to be molested 24/7 because Christians are gross. Speaking of DeSantis, folks, one of his operatives, Chris D. Simp, is jumping on the bandwagon that the Maui fires were set by the deep state. The Illuminati, the globalists did it. I guess the Jewish space lasers are back. They can't take responsibility for anything. They can't say it's global warming. They can't admit that the policies conservatives push forward do nothing but help accelerate global warming. They don't do anything to address it. So they have to pretend the problem doesn't even fucking exist. So there has to be some kind of shadowy conspiracy behind it. Here he is. Was Hawaii targeted by direct energy weapons? No, you fucking moonbat, it goddamn wasn't. Fuck conservatives. He wasn't the only one jumping on this conspiracy theory. Here is one of the many videos Chuds put out to push their conspiracy theory.
So Maui gets hit with a natural disaster, but there's nothing natural about this. Check this out. Yes. First of all, they're saying that the Maui fires has caused 93 deaths, but there's local residents saying it's way worse. Okay. Also, a lot of rich and powerful people own thousands of acres of Maui.
Yeah, it's Hawaii, so that makes sense. There's Oprah's house.
Including Oprah. This is her estate. She owns 2,000 acres in Maui, but hold that thought. All right, now with all those people I mentioned, wouldn't they want to be a part of something big like this?
Nope, I doubt Oprah Winfrey gives a fuck about what you're talking about, but continue.
This is a digital government summit held next month in Hawaii. Okay. This summit presents smart cities ran on clean energy and ran by AI.
So if it's being held there next month and they want to be a part of it, why would they burn the goddamn city down, which ensures it's not going to happen?
So how would you get clean renewable energy?
I don't know. If only there was like a ball in the sky of burning gases that gave off heat that we could collect or something. I don't know, but I guess you're gonna say volcanoes or something. Yeah, that tracks.
What is Maui known for?
Beaches, lays.
Now, there's no way there was melted cars and trees still standing. This had to be due to direct energy weapon.
That's right. They laser beamed all the cars, folks. Hey, we didn't see it. We don't have any evidence. Nobody got footage of it. But believe me, that's how they melted the cars. They sent drones with lasers over, and they just shine the lasers of the car long enough till they melt it down. This is real life, folks.
And if you don't think this was planned, check this out. Maui burst.
D-E-W. Proof! Proof, folks! Maui burst Mountain Dew!
Direct energy weapon. They gotta show you before they do it.
Direct energy weapon. They have to show you before they do it, folks. It's like, if you're a cop, you gotta tell me you're a cop. It's the law. They can't do it unless they put it in our face. And what better way to put it in our face than with Mountain Dew? It just makes sense.
Also, there's an executive order that was signed that if you lose your home in a natural disaster, the government can take it.
That's not true.
So what do you guys think? Is this a play for the elites to reset and take over?
No, it is not.
Let me know about this one. Comment below.
Okay, I comment that you're a fucking moron who will say and believe anything in order to get clicks and clout. Fucking dumbass. And not the only one. Voice of Reason is like, hey, they got to tell you before they do it. They got to put it in your face, but they got to do it on the sly so you don't know what they're talking about, so they can have plausible deniability. Here's Biden admitting to it. Biden says, we're laser focused on getting aid to survivors, including critical needs assistance, a one-time $700 payment per household, offering relief during an unimaginably difficult time. Laser focused. Proof, folks, proof. He's admitting they're using Jewish space lasers to burn Hawaii for some reason so they can, I don't know, whatever. Don't think about it. It's all good. And even more, here's a bunch of them, folks. Who is burning Maui? Not the climate. Temps have been mid-80s with normal high humidity. Nope. We've had the highest temps on record this last month, even in Hawaii. Maui, not highly forested. Cars and buildings burned to a crisp. Green trees untouched. Who fired the dew? Direct energy weapons. Do the do. This is an airborne, high-powered direct energy weapon. Maui will come back. The deep state won't. The Maui devastation is horrific and a result of direct energy weapon dew assault on dwelling structures similar to Paradise, California, and Boulder, Colorado wildfires. This UNWF Agenda 2030, get people off the land, expect more of these attacks in rural coastal areas. Did the cabal just use a dew to cause the Lahaina fires? No, they didn't. So over and over and over again, the moon bats are out in force spreading this bullshit. And even they know they're lying, folks, but they don't care because Twitter now 100% rewards lying. It pays you to lie on there because if you lie, if you spread misinformation, you're more likely to get people to comment on it. You're more likely to get attention, and they're not going to remove anything. They have no content moderation at all anymore. So the more you lie, the more you spread misinformation, the more people click on it, and the more money you make. So this person says, I was warned not to post this video. Warned, look, Chinese space laser burning up Hawaii only. Yeah. That's not what this is. This video is from a transformer explosion in Chile in May 2023. The ray of light is proven to occur after the transformer catch fires and is believed to be a lens flare generated by the transformer exploding, but not stopping people from believing it because they don't care. Like I said, folks, they don't care if they spread lies. They feel morally obligated to lie about things. Leafy Garbage Human says, back in Utah, kind of want to make a short video and post it on Twitter. Heard you can put ads on it now or something like that. I don't know if it would make sense or what this whole Twitter thing is weird, but seems cool. Yeah, hey, if I spread this lie on Twitter, maybe I can make some money. That's all I care about. Super cool, Elon. And I can't stand Krasenstein, but he's right here. To all the users of X who are pushing a conspiracy theory that Oprah Winfrey is somehow responsible for the Maui, Hawaii wildfires because her estate didn't burn down, just stop. There are literally close to 100 people declared dead. There are over 2,200 structures damaged or destroyed, of which 86% of them are homes. Oprah has literally been on the ground helping people. She has been providing cots, pillows, toiletries, and more to shelters. Like this one, here she is, trying to help the people out in the shelter, but I'm sure this is just a smoke screen for her controlling the Jewish space lasers.
He came.
You go, Oprah. Just trying to help out, I guess. There she is. You guys want a pillow?
I had a question for you.
I hope that's not a mind pillow. Thank you for your service, but guilty! Guilty as charged. I also thought she was dead. Didn't they kill her in the storm? Have to talk to Q about that. And they're declaring war on fire, folks. Doc says, we were just attacked. Doesn't matter if it was on a tiny island named Maui. These are Americans. This was an attack on America. Everybody needs to start acting like it ASAP. It's war. I wish you guys would declare war on global warming, if only. And even Steve Bannon out there spreading this bullshit, flooding the zone with bullshit. That's his political tactic he talks about. Steve says, are there 1,000 dead in Maui? How could this possibly be caused simply by a wildfire? Devastation looks like Tokyo or Dresden after the firebombing. How could this be? I mean, we saw it. We saw the wildfires. We saw it wasn't a bomb or space lasers. What the fuck you talking about? But they're literally like, believe me, over your own eyes. It's a conspiracy. Always got to spread fear somehow. And Alex Jones, never one to be far from a bullshit conspiracy theory. At least, folks, he's not blaming the Jewish space lasers. At least he's trying to be a little more sensible with his conspiracy theories, but still completely batshit insane.
You wait till the wind is high, and they've busted Antifa and leftists all over the world. Big fires in France right now, big fires in Germany. When the winds get high and it's dry, out come the Extinction Rebellion leftists, and they don't like
Hey, folks, I just want to brag that me and Alex Jones are just about the same age. So, yeah, being a lying scumbag ages you.
Populist. They don't like people having houses. They don't like people having cars. And then, obviously, the globalist. This came out with a lot of the experts that exposed it a few years ago during the 2000 summer riots. Antifa directed the hordes and crowds of what to burn and what to attack, and they specifically attacked the real estate, different parts of the U.S. that the globalists wanted.
Oh, really?
So I believe arsonists did set these fires, and we have evidence we'll cover next hour.
Isn't Antifa taking their direct orders from the globalists? Definitely, that's true.
Hour of that, and people being arrested for it. And they basically had the utility companies and others keep the power on that would make it even more explosive. They had emergency crews stand back and only protect elitist properties with the fire departments. So this is staged, but it wasn't done with a laser.
Oh, finally some sense.
Even though that's sexy and fun to talk about.
It is sexy.
It was done with a lighter or matches and gasoline.
Proof of this?
You can bet your bottom dollar on that.
I do not want to bet my bottom dollar. I want evidence, motherfucker.
And I'm not into arson.
Humpty Dumpty.
And I'm not a pyromaniac, but even if the globalists took all our guns, went to a physical civil war, you can take all the guns you want with a double-edged dagger or a hammer, and you can burn down whatever you want with a can of gasoline and a lighter. We're not doing that. But the left, they've been caught all over the country. And you know what the big tell is of hundreds? You know why I know? Patterns. You know, I know they were going to blow up the World Trade Center with jumbo jets. They were wargaming it. They had the Pentagon cancel a trip a week before to New York, and the list goes on and on.
Oh, my God. The left and Antifa did 9/11, too. Holy shit, man. We are evil as fuck. I'm impressed by how powerful we are. God damn it. Why don't you conservatives just, like, give up? How are you going to stop us? We are too good. We stole the election from Trump multiple times. He's now under 100 different indictments. We're going to put his ass in jail. There's nothing you can do against us. Join the dark side. You can't resist us. I laugh at you, fucking losers. Being evil is fun. What the fuck? And first off, oh, what the fuck? So I don't know what caused this house to explode, but hey, the Ring doorbell cameras give us access to footage like we've never had before. So watch this house back here, folks. Let's see if you can see these slight. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Okay, yeah, wow. Okay, that was a pretty big explosion there. Nice. All right, let's watch that again. I'm guessing it had to be like a gas leak or something, because yeah, boom goes the dynamite. Wow. Everybody that has a house, take one step forward. Not so fast, Dan. Your house blowed up, dude. I hope nobody was in. Did you guys see the naked guy at the gym? Decided he was going to fight everybody. I don't know if he's on drugs. I don't know what his deal is. Apparently, he just likes his tiny wiener hanging out. But ass whooping, that's what he got for his troubles. Let's have a look. So here he is at the gym. And, oh, he stripped his clothes off. He's walking around naked, butt all hanging out. And people don't like it. They're like, put your clothes on. He's like, no, I'll fight you. And then, like, he's getting their dick. He's getting his dick all over you. And they're like, don't get your dick on me. And now they got to restrain him. And there's his dick. I see his penis. He's a grower, not a shower, apparently, because I ain't seeing much. That's a tiny little Vienna sausage motherfucker. Might want to put some pants back on. And he just walking around naked everywhere. Apparently he's very comfortable with his body. I'll give him that. And he's just attacking everybody, even attacking homeless people. Get your dick away from me, dude. Yeah, somebody's smacking him. What is wrong with you? Wonder what drugs he's on, or if I can get some. Apparently it's not Viagra, because, yeah, and you got punched in the back of your head. Now you're getting stomped. And now you're running away. Yeah. Might want to put some shoes on. Uh-oh, here come the coppers. He'll be fine. I'm sure they're going to let him go with a warning.
He assaulted 3 people.
Uh-oh. Yeah, oh, no, they didn't. What? Taste him in his dick. He didn't even drop. Holy God, that guy's got a lot of energy. Oh, they got him. They got him, folks. Crisis averted. I heard he's being charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Just kidding. It wasn't deadly at all. It was tiny. Assault with a very tiny weapon.
We've got Crowder's Downfall, which is so delicious. It's wonderful to watch. And
I've been seeing a lot of people. Talk about his like algo, and as a content creator, I mean, we're both content creators. Like, that's the probably most hurtful thing you can say about another content creator. Is like when someone has actually fallen off, and you map their trajectory of their falling off, and you put the analytics right there, and you go, "This is you. You've done this to yourself." It's sad.
I think it's fantastic in his case, and so well earned. I mean, it's nice to see even his Republican conservative fans abandoning him in the face of absolute debauchery, douchebaggery, perverted freak shit that he does.
Yeah.
Let's continue straight to the Crowder stuff.
I know.
So back, I guess, at the end of last year. Was it the end of last year? It was it was in January. It was in January.
Right after the election.
Right.
No, it was in December, man.
It was in December.
Yes.
Okay, so it was in December. It was, oh yeah, that's right. It was during the lame duck session in Michigan, where Michigan Republicans, knowing that they wouldn't be able to pass this when the new Michigan legislature assembled in January, forced through a right-to-work bill in Michigan. And so there was major union protest. And at the time, you had a lot of union folks coming out and protesting against the out in front of the State House. And of course, Fox sent their minions there to cover the protests, ostensibly, but also to be a little bit more provocative than that. Let's play the clip.
What is it about right to work that you oppose so much? What I oppose about right to work is because it's the freedom to freeload. They can suck all of the parasitical benefits and the hard wages that unions have negotiated, and they get it for free.
Already destroyed one tent. Leave the tent alone.
Get the out of my face!
Don't tear down the tent.
Get the out of my face!
You hurt a lady in there.
You're addressing me. I ain't hurt nobody. You hurt the out of my face!
Back
Back the up!
Stop tearing down the tent.
Back the up!
He did. Okay. just assaulted me.
Now you can hear him at one point saying, "You just assaulted me." Now this is a compilation of video that this guy Steven Crowder put together, and it showed him getting punched by a union thug. And Steven Crowder got a lot of mileage out of this. He was invited to CPAC. He had his moment of fame. He made a big deal about it. Wanted to challenge the protester to a legal sanctioned mixed martial arts bout. And then within a day or so, it became clear that the video was sort of misleadingly edited. On Monday, Ingham County prosecutor Stuart Dunnings announced he will not press charges against the protester who punched Steven Crowder in the mouth. Not simply because Steven Crowder in general deserved maybe to be punched in the mouth, but because the protester was defending himself. Dunning said of the union member who apparently slugged Crowder, "It's pretty clear the person they wanted to charge was acting in self-defense." Dunnings questioned why Crowder didn't initially provide the original footage to Dunning's office. "I'm not holding that against him, but why would they provide the edited video? The longer video clearly shows the guy got pushed down and came up swinging." I think that's the polite way of the prosecutor saying they tried to provide us with false evidence in this case, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. So for those of you who felt a little bit guilty, that in some way you were celebrating this guy downing, getting punched in the face or getting punched in the face, you felt a little guilty about it. Well, now you need feel guilt no more. Have a party.
And I don't want to miss out on Crowder's downfall, which is such a pleasure to witness. I enjoy it so much. And it couldn't happen to a worse guy. And shout out Sam Cedar.
Steven, this is Jesse. I hear from Sam that you won't debate him, that you have cold feet, and that you are a beta male. Beta, if it's true, beta male. And by the way, Sam said he is an alpha male. Alpha male, not a beta male. And that you are afraid to debate him, Steven. And that your father should stop allowing you to be beta. Debate Sam, Steven. Don't be afraid. Don't be a beta male.
We experienced it in this office. Everybody in the office could hear, they couldn't see. I was seeing, but what I saw was the feed that Ethan was getting. Okay, Ethan from H3, and his recording of it is from a different perspective than Crowder's recording of it. Now Crowder played an intro, and this is really weird. Do we have his intro? The one that he did on the show today.
Brendan's putting it up.
Okay. So watch it. This is how Crowder started off his show today. Now, I don't know if he shot this today, to make himself look better, I guess, or if it's legit.
Makes him look better, Sam.
Well, but that's the other thing. I don't know why he played this. I guess it was he played this. He either shot it today or maybe it happened in real time. And he's showing it because he wants to say, I was not actually surprised that Sam showed up. I totally anticipated this. Now, just want to go back before we start to play this and remind everybody, a week ago last Monday, this debate was supposed to happen between Ethan and Crowder. And Ethan had asked me, I don't know, maybe it was like a week ago Friday, the Friday before, do you want to jump up? And I'm like, absolutely. In fact,
you were making my life.
The request in and of itself has already demonstrably changed my mood. And so what we did is we rescheduled our show. Maybe he had asked me like on Thursday. We scheduled the show to start at 11 a.m. instead of the normal 1 p.m. And we ended it at 12:30.
Yeah.
And so we're at 12:30, we get on, and the debate's supposed to happen at 1 p.m. Eastern.
No, you just said our show starts at 12. In case you're coming to this.
Yes, I'm sorry. Our show normally starts at 12, and we started at 11 a.m. And our show is normally 2.5 hours long, and we made it only an hour and a half long.
But Crowder, you know that already.
Well, no, Crowder knows this. I'm talking to the people who have never seen the show before.
Yeah, hello H3 audience,
and that other
of course,
dude,
Steven Crowder, and Darren.
Who's that?
Crowder's dad, but he refers to him as Darren, so
nobody knows it's his dad.
Knows his dad's his book.
And so we're on with Ethan, and 5 minutes after we sign off at about 12:35, maybe 12:40, Ethan goes, "We just got an email from Crowder. He says he has to go to the hospital with his wife, who is pregnant with twins."
Hillary urged him to get the help he needed to address his abuse with the hope that their marriage could be saved and they could peacefully live together as a family. Instead, Stephen refused to do so and chose not to be with his wife during the birth of their twin children.
He says he has to go to the hospital with his wife, who is pregnant with twins, but they want to reschedule for next Monday at noon Eastern. And Ethan, to his credit, was like, "They watched your show go off air." And I'm like, "What?
Come on.
No way." And
it sounds like a serious issue with his wife who's pregnant.
I've had,
as far as we know,
2 children. Pregnancies can be tough. And honestly, I'm like, he wouldn't lie about an emergency with his pregnant wife, would he? To get out of it? And
no, but it's not to get out of it. It's that there was the mere possibility that you'd show up.
Well, I mean, but okay, well, but let's just table that concept. He's obviously so he punts, and then, but I was also later in the week, I was like, who has an emergency with their wife when she's pregnant and then takes the time to reschedule at exact time? Like, I would be, if it was me, I would be like, somebody just tell them that we'll reschedule. We'll deal with it later. I can't even think right now. I don't know. I'm not going to check my calendar as I'm going to the hospital with my wife or with anybody for that matter.
Especially if the person sending the email is Mr. Crowder. He would be just as concerned. This is my future grandchildren.
Exactly. And so that was a little suspicious, but Ethan was like, they're watching. I'm like, he can't possibly be that nervous about it, can he? Like, I always thought, like, he just thought, like you know, I don't know. I never thought that he was as terrified of just having a debate as this. I was actually surprised. And so, but I still went into it. We launch at noon, and here is what presumably is happening. And so we pre-taped our show and ran it as if it was live. And you can see him in this. All right, so this is what's happening about 5 minutes before we get on.
Who enter into the arena. And, you know, we've had a lot of debates on the show.
No.
We talked about it on the show quite a bit.
No. Yeah, I want to go all the way back to...
A man makes an agreement, and a man is good to his word.
Yeah.
This really comes down to an agreement, good to your word. And I know you always have two sides who claim their side wins, but really there's only one side that's based on a lie. And I wish it didn't happen because I really wanted to talk to him about his relationship with Susan Wojcicki and Flip and the support of big tech.
Listen to this. I will tell you this. Having been an actor for, I don't know, I guess about 15 years, maybe the last thing I did was on That Good Fight, and I don't even know when that was, like 6-7 years ago or something. But I do, you know, voices for Bob's Burger. One of the things that you get training as an actor is being able to maintain your vocal register when you are, even when you're under duress. And I'm not great at it. Like, I get excited and I start going after people. But you can hear a little bit of shake in his voice. This is a day later. And you can hear there's a little bit of constriction that's going on. And he is, he's having, you can read that. I think an acting coach would say to him, like, look, you got to breathe.
In through the nose.
Breathe and
Out
talk.
through the mouth.
All right, let's go here. Pull it up to Brendan. Pull it up to what purportedly was happening on Monday before we came on. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So this is. It says recording start. Now I'm not sure.
This mic has been adjusted, guys.
Wait, no. Oh, this is.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Adjust this because
okay.
I have to set it to human height since Dave was doing it. I can see some weird contact thing there. Okay.
So this is as he's waiting for Ethan to come on.
Right. All right, let me check this. Check 1, 2, 3. Good. All right. Okay, you guys are gonna call him and sound check him? Yeah. I bet this guy's gonna do anything he can to avoid actually debating.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think he wants to do anything that he possibly can to avoid.
Yeah, let me know when you want
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Wait, when you want me to admit him into the room, I'll just do that.
Sure. Well, I'll just say you guys do the sound checking. I don't want to sit there and talk with our producer Dan and stuff, but I don't think this guy wants to do this. I wouldn't be surprised if he's probably going to bring someone else on. Was his producer like a fan of that Cedar character? Yeah, that'd be my bet. But hey, hopefully he mans up. Okay, you can do your sound check.
Alrighty, here we go.
Is there something?
I'm gonna sit right here.
Was he this nervous over a fan coming?
All right.
All right, and so now let's go to Ethan's version. So now he showed that today on his show, and I'm gonna assume it was real. It's conceivable he could go back and record that.
I don't know. I mean, you're stuck on this. I don't know why he would do that.
Well, but I don't know why he would show it. He wanted to show.
He shows all the boring stuff. Like there's an extended 2 or 3 more minutes of them just like saying, "Hey, we got." Crowder starts talking about like technology to communicate between studios at one point.
Right, but he wanted to show that part because he was trying to make Ethan look like Ethan was like two-faced, like he was nice to me and then was so mean by inviting Sam Cedar on.
The words of a man wearing a shirt that says "Fight like hell" with 2 guns holstered to his side.
Here he is. And as we go through it, we find out that he was monitoring the show last week. He is anticipating that I'm coming. All right.
He says
smart.
a fan of Cedar.
Well, he's talking about Dan because Dan, the producer, was a fan. And so you would think he would be like, good, I'm not afraid of Cedar.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to debate Cedar right in front of Ethan. I'm going to destroy Cedar. And then I'm going to say, Ethan, you're a coward. So you brought your surrogate who I just dispatched and you're a coward. And look at this. I didn't even have coffee this morning or whatever. That's the way that I would have handled it.
Yeah.
But it's as if he didn't come up with a plan. That's what's sort of weird about it. All right.
He didn't even want to acknowledge what was so deep in his fear, right? It was too fearful. It was too scary of an outcome.
You don't want to voice it out loud.
Yeah, because if you speak of it,
it becomes real.
Right.
I also want to say I don't think it was stitched together, but some people in the chat are thinking it was. So if it was, I assume somebody will probably clip the point and will.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that coffee cup. I thought that was a sort of a weird move.
But either way, it's a bad effort if they are trying to go back and.
But I don't understand even why you would show that necessarily, because it makes the question that you were ambushed.
You should have been prepared for it.
Yeah, you clearly, was it really an ambush when you're really that convinced it's going to happen?
And he was that spooked when he already
had
an inkling?
Let's also be clear. It's not like I came in with Steven, here's, pictures of you getting, punched, or here's, here's the time that you went up and, interfered on Jenk's panel at that conference in 2017, whatever that thing was. I mean, it's not like that, South by Southwest. It's not one of those. I just came in and I said, I'm willing to debate the issues that you have prepared for. I was willing to debate any issue. Any issue he wanted to do, I would have debated him, but he didn't want to. All right, so let's play. Should we play Ethan's?
Yes.
Yeah, let's play Ethan's.
That was an appetizer. Here's the.
I have my next guest on the show, and I've always said this. I always respect people who enter into the arena. And we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a change
Coming
where we
up
sit down and
here,
have conversations.
he's
But
gonna
my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said,
off to
if you
the
come
side,
switch,
and this is
we
when
go
he
switch.
gets
You go
so-
spicy,
his
we're going to do a
gut
little
drops
spicy.
out, and you can
So
hear
he's
his-
always trying to keep it
what?
as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time, because a lot of people haven't. Has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him. Some of you like him. Some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me. You said that I would be a layup. Which
I
is
think I
fine.
used
Which
something
is
like
fine.
that.
And I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you're
yeah.
right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
Pause it.
All right. So,
So Dan,
what we were going to
whenever
talk
Listen.
is what we were.
Okay. So Ethan is about to look off. You don't have to, you can keep that up on screen. Okay. So Ethan looks off to Dan to tell him, bring Sam in. Okay. And watch what happens as Crowder registers that he's looking off. Crowder's starting to talk, and he's saying the thing that was completely rote, but you can hear that something sinks inside of him. Like sometimes you'll notice, this will happen to me. Like if I get a text and I'm, like, the babysitter can't make it, or like, the cat pooped all over the carpet, and I'm like, like you'll see that I'm distracted. Here's what happened with Crowder. He's so nervous.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So,
Dan,
what we were going
whenever
to
you're
talk
ready.
about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe. And we talked about this through playful ribbing and an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar! What a fucking nightmare! I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave. Remember I told you?
Ethan was a stand-up guy.
Just watch this. Like, watch how fast Steven immediately looks over to his left, signaling to his guy to go get in that chair because I need the camera off
of me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Watch the. Well, yeah. Go back just a little bit, and you can see him cross frame.
To avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar! What a fucking nightmare! I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave. Remember I told you? I said this is. I guarantee you, he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with mental health issues.
Steven,
Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own
I gotta
fighting.
say,
It's just hilarious. Let's bring on FM.
That you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made
Yes,
at the
include
beginning of
Joe
this
Rogan.
was-
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Ben and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
Pause it for 1 second. What is going on with him saying that Noam Chomsky won't speak with me?
You've spoke with Noam Chomsky.
Yeah, I've interviewed him back in the radio days, and I mean, it's never. I mean, I imagine he would. Maybe Noam Chomsky has been on other podcasts going like, I won't talk to Sam Cedar.
Well, at the very least, we're not saying, "Hey, Noam, debate Sam, you scared loser."
Is Crowder saying that? And I also love how he admits, like, you're blackballed from Joe Rogan. You're blackballed from Dave Rubin.
If that is,
they know who you are.
Yeah, and I'm not looking to debate Joe Rogan. I would debate Dave Rubin, of course, and Sam Harris, and yes, Brett Weinstein. Okay, and what? I mean,
and can we just say, like, recognition is one of the kind of the overwhelming emotion of these guys upon seeing you. It's not who is this guy. That
that's the weird thing. He said it at the beginning of the show that he put up.
This is the weird thing about it, is that his whole argument as to why he will not engage in a debate with me is not that I'm an unfair debater, not that and people can go back and look at every single debate I've ever done. The vast majority of them, and I can think of one where I yelled at Michael Tracy, but that's just because I think he was a garbage person. But every other one, Charlie Kirk, Politicon, or whenever I've had any libertarians on, I am respectful because I have the advantage of knowing that what they're arguing is complete nonsense. And so I don't need to do any of that. And if the argument is that you're not debating me because I'm not well known enough, how is it that all of these people that you claim that are the biggest, YouTubers on the right are specifically refusing to debate me? Like, I'm not sitting there going like, I refuse to debate Xena5832, who's got an egg on Twitter. I refuse to debate that person.
Also, talk about the whole IDW and Crowder, like just being thirsty for like Don Lemon to come on my show and debate me, or whatever Brett Weinstein wanted. What was that musician he was getting back?
Billy Bragg.
Billy Bragg, yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are complete celebrity chasers.
Yeah, and
you mentioned the egg on Twitter. That's who Crowder debates.
Exactly.
On college campuses.
Oh, no. That's not a debate. He spent 20 minutes explaining at the beginning of his show today. Change my mind is not a debate. It's just when he goes and has an argument with college students. That's different. It's so obvious. What are you, a girl? I think he calls me a girl a woman a couple of times. But we'll get to that. But all right, so continue here.
Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting to get your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Stephen, I mean, it's about issues. Let's talk about those issues.
That's what you're doing here.
Valid points.
You're so clever. I had no idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts eyes.
I wish everything.
You take those off with a velvet.
Yeah.
So when he said that, I got to admit, I was like, oh my God, this guy is staying awake at night. He's lying about his pregnant wife being ill as a way of avoiding dealing with me. He is that, for a guy who's like, your YouTube viewership is too low for me to debate. But I am so terrified of getting into a conversation with you that I will lie about my wife and what did you say? I have twins?
Yes.
I will lie about my pregnant twins.
I'll invoke them to get out of this.
Yeah, it's really, and it was also like, wow, this guy. I mean, I always speculated he was afraid of me.
Why did he think in that moment that revealing that he was aware of what we did last week and like basically telling us that he reacted to that, why did he think that was going to be good for him?
Well, I think to a certain extent, he's either so terrified or so dumb.
Okay. Right. All right, let me check this. Okay. All right, I'll give you a countdown and then I'll 3, 2. All right, okay, I'm really glad to have my next guest on the show. And I've always said this, I always respect people who enter into the arena. And we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a Change My Mind where we sit down and have conversations. But I do appreciate the guy making the time because a lot of people haven't. You know him, some of you like him, and some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks man for making the time.
You're very welcome, and I just want to say, I know you called me, you said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that.
Yeah. I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what we were going to
Dan,
talk
whenever
about
you're ready.
is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe. And we talked about this through Playful Ribbing, and an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar. What a fucking nightmare.
Come on, Steven.
Wow.
I think we need to have a meeting with his dad.
Irony alert, Steven. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a baby. You're like, come on, Steven. I think he lost the right to those holsters. I think he has to retire them.
Oh, sweetie. What kind of a pussy am I talking to? What happened to you? Bro, it was a dope movie and you're a fucking communist. Can't wait for Avatar 2.
Cold feet again. And I don't want to miss out on Crowder's downfall, which is such a pleasure to witness. I enjoy it so much. And it couldn't happen to a worse guy.
Right-wing commentator Steven Crowder, who seems to be as toxic as he is publicly in private, with people like his wife, with people like his pregnant wife. Disturbing video was obtained by journalist Yashar Ali, and it reveals that the commentator Steven Crowder is berating his wife, and this apparently is one instance of what we later found out was many. In this one clip, it's from June of 2021, and his wife Hillary is 8 months pregnant. This is after a week where Steven Crowder announced that he and his wife were getting a divorce, and weirdly asking why that was legal in Texas and why you could just do that. So anyway, we'll put that aside. But then we all got hit with this little slice. So take a look.
I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries. There is no groceries. I do have steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's not a reasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes, other than that, you see love comes back. No. Other than man, no, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you are not.
Then I will ask them to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's no respect, Steven.
Give it an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're gonna take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
There he is, arguing with his wife that she should go pick up groceries, but she can't use his car, that what is her respect for the man? Like, what does she think about men? Sort of like asking a randomly and very misogynist question in the middle of this fight. She acquiesces, says, I will go pick up the groceries. He denies her use of the car. There's a lot. And then he accuses her of boxing him in. If you're listening as a podcast, this is a woman with an 8-month pregnant belly who is engaged in this discussion. There's a little bit more before I kick it to you guys. She becomes understandably incredibly emotional, tries to reason with him, but when she calls out his abusive behavior in a very calm manner, this is what he says.
The only way out of it is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, and we're at an impasse. We are at an impasse. Good, because you can't have any discipline or respect. Yeah. There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily. I don't give up, Stephen. You give up so easily? I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Stephen, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Stephen, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Watch it.
I'm gonna let go, I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit, okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no, but I love you more than life itself. Okay, put on some gloves. Hillary, you're right, right in past. Become someone that's unique, day in and day out, worthy of a wife, no, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll get text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to it. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
Okay, so some piece of context there is that he says put on gloves, and this is because he was asking her to give medicine to the dogs, and she was asking him to do that task because she's afraid the dog medicine might be toxic to her as a pregnant person. It might be poisonous. Turns out the entire relationship is poisonous. Here he is in November of 2021, just months after this one particular fight on his show.
Every issue that you complain about, women, legitimately, and I am empathetic towards you. I have a white woman wife, just to be clear, hashtag white woman. I have a wife who's a stay-at-home mom now, and she used to be a professional. So I have some experience with this, living with a woman and what it is that she has valued and where she has found herself happier. Take pride in your job, absolutely. But take pride in being a mother too. Take pride in being a wife too. Do you not want your husband to take pride in being a good husband, being a faithful husband, being a loving husband? The qualities that you admire in a man? Take pride in being a wife and a mother, not just a career. You can take pride in either or, but generally speaking, not both. You can't have it all.
Well, here is Candace Owens, and Candace Owens, worldview, I don't know how much different it is than Steven Crowder's, frankly.
I know.
But
she's a feminist.
It's not just like the sort of, it's not, yeah. I mean, it's not just the words that Crowder uses. It's not just like his word choice. It is, again, that concept of dominion. Here is Candace Owens, though, talking about how the Crowder also apparently she's been lying about the whole sort of like TikTok, essentially.
Okay, this is the end of the video.
She plays the entirety.
So that is both heartbreaking and infuriating for me to watch. I cannot even comprehend how any man can speak to a woman like that, least of all when she is 8 months pregnant. And sadly, that isn't the worst part of that correspondence. Moments later, off camera, Steven Crowder, by his own admission, would lose control and scream at his pregnant wife in a threatening tone, quote, "I will f you up," end quote, which led his wife to flee their home. She then sent a statement, which I want to be very clear. This statement I knew was going to come out. I didn't know any of this information. I had no idea there was a video or there was any evidence. I did know that their family was thinking about issuing a statement, and Hillary Crowder did issue a statement. And I'm going to read you that statement in its entirety because it's important. I think it reveals a lot of the lies that Stephen has been telling publicly to his audiences. It reads, Hillary is currently living alone in Dallas apart from her family and support system in Michigan and is focused on taking care of her young children. She is not prepared at this time to speak about her divorce becoming public or the misleading statements made by Stephen about their relationship. The truth is that Hillary spent years hiding Stephen's mentally and emotionally abusive behavior from her friends and family while she attempted to save their marriage. She was the one who was asking to work on their relationship to keep the marriage intact for their unborn child. In June of 2021, Stephen left their home to pursue elective surgery. That's very important. I want you to remember that. I'm going to come back to that point. Hillary urged him to get the help he needed to address his abuse with the hope that their marriage could be saved and they could peacefully live together as a family. Instead, Stephen refused to do so and chose not to be with his wife during the birth of their twin children. After the birth, Stephen bought a townhouse and left their home permanently. Hillary was not aware that Stephen hired a divorce attorney and asked his assistant to cut Hillary off financially. There is significant documentation substantiating these facts. I want you to remember that portion as well, because that's another lie that Stephen has told publicly. I would first like to go back to that portion where she says Stephen left their home to pursue elective surgery, because I know exactly what surgery she's referring to, because during my first backstage here at Daily Wire, we actually prayed for Stephen and this surgery. So before I show you a clip from us on backstage, here is Stephen describing that surgery, and it certainly doesn't sound like it's elective. Take a listen.
I explained to you a little bit what it is. You know, a lot of people say, why are you smoking? My heart is actually great, but my heart doesn't work great. And the reason my heart doesn't work great is, long story short, because of a connective tissue disorder I have, and my chest is caving in on my heart. So I've got about, I'm at a little more than half of the blood flow that you guys have, ventricular output from my heart. So it's a mechanical fix. So yeah, it's overall a positive thing, and honestly, I've probably needed a little bit of rest. It comes in the form of having my chest cracked open.
Obviously, he had the surgery, and then his lung collapsed, and here is us praying for him.
I don't want to see them praying for him. I don't care about that.
So probably pec implants.
My understanding is I saw some report that like it's a cosmetic thing. I don't know that he had pec implants, but it probably functioned in the same way. It made him feel better. It made him feel like he was more of a man, so his chest could be pumped out.
He had some kind of body dysmorphia, it looks like.
I mean, this is where you get into like the narcissism and the personal psychology, right? Like it's not although that narcissism and personal psychology certainly informs the role of the man in these sort of like fundamentalist households, which is my stuff comes first. So I will get this elective surgery and it's relatively predictable when someone's going to have a baby. Sometimes you can know it'll land right on the date, but it's relatively predictable.
I forgot to look at my calendar.
And when would you like to get this surgery? I would like to get this surgery right around the time that my wife is anticipating her pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't attend the birth. That is not his Christian fundamentalism operating there.
Where are the fathers? Where are the fathers? I mean, I guess the father is at a criminal butcher's office instead.
Yes, fundamentally altering
his body for the rest of time. I mean, you can't go back. What are the regret rates? We haven't studied this enough. We haven't studied men who have problems with their masculinity, are constantly overcompensating to run away from thoughts in the back of their head, going to surgeons to make them feel more manly.
Let's pick up after they have their cigar smoking, talking about how we're praying for Stephen Crowder's segment. The amazing thing is that this guy doesn't even attend his kid's birth. But you recall, Emma, right? Like when he bagged out of the first sort of time that that Ethan had invited us on to the stream for that sort of like
Secretly.
surprise debate. Yeah.
Yeah.
He told Ethan that the reason why he was canceling, which we ultimately knew because the real reason was because he saw that we were not on air, that we had ended our show early. But he told Ethan he was there because his wife was pregnant with twins, and there was like a little bit of like a scare associated with it, and he had to rush to the hospital, which of course was a total lie. But to use her pregnancy and those twins to lie to get out of like a potential debate with me, and then not even go to the birth,
and then not be taken seriously. It's one thing if you were like,
but here's the timeline, just really quickly. The Crowder thing happened on June 21st, 2021. That video,
H3 Crowder thing.
Yes, sorry, I should be specific. When Sam humiliated him, the Ring video was
Ethan
taken
did too, I think.
5 days. And Ethan, the Ring video was taken 5 days later on the 26th. So,
and yet, according to his wife, this was an elective surgery, really a cosmetic surgery, because Stephen didn't like the way that his chest looked because he had a sunken chest. And it was not something that was actually required to save his life.
Now, what's also interesting about this, and look, people are going to be like, why are you spending so much time on this? The fact of the matter is that there's no doubt that what Steven Crowder has been spewing into the minds of mostly, I would imagine, young men, has been incredibly toxic and has undoubtedly immiserated tens, hundreds, maybe thousands of people, maybe more, in terms of like transphobia, homophobia, misogyny, the idea of like, people getting strapped with guns and whatnot. This guy has really been a force for really horrible stuff.
Yeah, you don't want this. Like, I'll never think of the Crowder smoking a cigar in the same way as like you're berating a pregnant woman to do chores as you sit on your ass in your backyard smoking a cigar. And like you say, like, this is a public service opportunity.
And it couldn't happen to a worse guy. And shout out Sam Cedar. Let's see. So a couple weeks ago, there was a Mediaite report where they talked about several ex-staffers who said they were sexually harassed by Crowder, constantly whipping his dick out or even texting dick pictures to them.
That's how Ethan and I communicate with one another for the leftovers. Yeah.
That's the pre-show planning right there.
Yeah.
So
form of sign language.
So now there's a new scoop coming out by the same company saying that 4 Steven Crowder staffers exited the show after intense interrogations and insane NDAs in the wake of Cockgate.
What gate?
Cockgate.
Cockgate?
Yeah. Cockgate. So here, check this out. Steven Crowder made all of his employees sign a draconian $100,000 breach of contract penalty if they talk to anyone about the show, which I'm sure that's illegal.
Are men not allowed to be men anymore, is what I ask?
No.
Back in the day, men were allowed to whip their cocks out at their staffers and do whatever they want.
Friends, your family
Dude, we
members.
used to have rape buttons, bro. It was all good.
Yeah, it was Matt Lauer.
Yeah, Matt Lauer button.
Matt Lauer's button. Now we have to do other kinds of buttons to stop the broadcast. Because goddamn woke liberal left coming after us, dude.
Times have changed, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Back in the day, you could, kidnap and engage in imprisonment of a coworker that you fancy. Now you can't even say it.
Now I can't even fantasize openly and verbally about it.
How did you become gay?
So the beautiful irony is this is, of course, he's sitting down all of his employees and he's like, I will fucking kill you if you talk about this show again. And then immediately 5 people went to Mediaite and reported on their conversation. Is that awesome? 5 current and former staff members. The people who are still in his midst. He still has moles. The agreement, which was reviewed by Mediaite, were emails to current Louder with Crowder employees on July 26 and read in part, employee maintains its promise and covenant Okay, bro, it's not fucking. We're not talking about Jesus Christ here. There's no covenant.
That's what you think. He's got
Hey, I'm just trying to make money. Covenant and not disclose confidential information as defined in the amendment. Company will provide employee with confidential information during the period in which employee is employed by company.
Can I just say something?
Or they'll
really
be liable for $100,000. Go ahead.
A lot of companies have these kinds of NDAs and non-compete clauses that they have, some of which is legally enforceable. Others are not, depending on your state, especially if you're in California. Good luck getting any kind of NDA to be enforced. However, one thing that I guess find really funny is for example, if you work for like a big weapons manufacturer, let's say you work at like Lockheed Martin, right? There's a lot of proprietary technology that they do not want in the hands of their competitors, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, yada yada. So I like to think that Steven Crowder's penis is the proprietary technology that they do not want out there. They're like, dude, this is really important for the content creation process. Please do not show anyone else or tell anyone else that I'm whipping my dick out, doing a helicopter, putting it on your fucking shoulder in meetings. This is very important. It's a very important
What do you
part
call
of
it when you like take your dick or your ball skin and tuck it over your dick?
I was just thinking
Hamburger?
that one guy.
The
yeah.
hamburger.
Yeah, that one guy taught us. From
My
TikTok.
friends, my hamburgering is a matter of national security. Do you think the 14-year statute should apply to Steven's cock?
Yeah, Steven's
fair,
penis should also be no longer be paywalled.
Yeah.
We should all see it. He wants to show it to the world. Show it to the world.
hamburger with your dick in your balls.
Oh, right. That's where I heard it. So let's see here. He made them agree to this. I hereby acknowledge that said damages are reasonable, dumbass, and do not constitute a penalty. And I further agree that I will not contest the reasonableness of said liquidated damages in any such action commenced by either party with respect to this amendment. So there's zero fucking shot that's legal. And I guarantee these people are not even. I don't know. Like,
bro, Texas is fucking wild. Like, Texas is like,
dude, how are you going to make somebody? And I'm sure he pays his employees dog shit just because he's a scumbag. But there's no. The chances are most of them are not even making $100,000 a year.
No, absolutely.
So you're going to work for a month and then go into debt to Crowder?
Yeah. It's there's two sides of the story that I find particularly funny. One is that like these guys are like, I got skin in the game, dog. Like I really just want to do like super reactionary white supremacist anti-worker videos without having your cock on my shoulder. You know what I mean? Like I'm in it for the love of the game.
Right.
Like, I love presenting the ideas out to the world. I want to be a part of the content creation process. Like I'm a doughy-eyed right-wing zealot.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you're interfering with that process, and that's kind of fucked up.
It's not cool. So let's see. He said, y'all got to sign this NDA by Friday, and response, his staff is just leaving in Exodus, which is fantastic. We're having a Louder with Crowder diaspora, actually, at this moment.
They're in exile.
Steven was livid, a source close to Rumble told Mediaite. He and Gerald Morgan, his producer, that little
Peter Pan.
Huh?
Don't we call him Peter Pan? Was it
Peter Pan.
Yeah.
That creepy bald dude. Just to describe his physical appearance, Dan, not to denigrate his lack of hair.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad you specified that.
Yeah.
I'm a bald activist.
Don't virtue signal, Hasan. Come on.
So he said he and Gerald Morgan said they knew someone was talking to the author of this hit piece based on the article. They said whoever text messages former employees about us not being able to hang out with them would be given amnesty if we confessed by 2 p.m. Bitch thinks he's in like a spy movie. All right, if any of you just fess up to talking to the media, I'll give you amnesty, bro. We won't behead you.
Yeah, there's 0% chance he's not fucking them over big time, okay? If I'm working at the Louder with Crowder racism factory, I'm like, nope, not telling anybody about that shit. Okay,
Hell no.
I'm keeping that to my damn self.
Yeah. He said, let's see. If no one confessed, then they would see it as malice. No one confessed. Nobody did confess. So they started interrogating people. It sounds like a really good, healthy work environment over there.
Yeah. Well, you know.
was it you who talked to the media? Damn it, man!
I mean, how do you even torture Steven Crowder employees? Like, because they're playing they're playing a role in the content creation of some of the worst content anyone's ever seen. Like, what are they making you watch Steven Crowder videos? That would be fucking unbearable.
Well, he brings him in a small room, interrogation room, and he's just pantless, and they just stare at his cock until they're either go mad or relent. It doesn't work either.
That doesn't work either.
Yeah, he's a man. So he says, if you're not okay with, this is my favorite. If you're not okay, he told his employees, with guys playing with sack tap, then this isn't the place for you.
What?
If you're not okay with guys playing sack tap.
Oh, he didn't put it in writing. I was going to say that is definitely grounds for like legal action if he put that in writing.
I think it's...
I mean, it sounds like he said it in front of a group of people, though.
Something tells me he does not have HR.
That's probably a good guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. My first thought
HR
was,
is his dad.
so you're gonna wrongfully terminate everybody, and you just said that for not being okay with sexual harassment.
That's such a crazy thing.
Listen, Your Honor, kind of a buzzkill when I take my dick out. That's why they're fired. After interrogation of current staffers, 4 employees departed the company. The NDA was insane, said the source close to Crowder. Most employees were scared because of it. Some talked to lawyers about it because they were afraid, but thought if they didn't sign it, that would incriminate themselves. It's like the Red Scare up in Louder with Crowder. He was intimidating. Stevens increasing...
What he calls his penis.
The Red Scare.
Yeah. Right.
He was intimidating, they said. Stevens' increasing justification of his workplace sexual behavior between men makes a lot more male employees uncomfortable. He says it's joking, but it doesn't seem like a joke to anyone anymore. I love his insistence that he will not stop sexually harassing people. Damn it.
This is part of the fabric of the culture.
No, that doesn't work for me either. This is a very important part of my content creation process.
No, that doesn't work either.
Here's my favorite part is that in the wake of all of this, if you basically can trace it from when he got that $50 million cash on the table offer from Daily Wire, which he shoved in their face, he has been on a collision course. His numbers have tanked, bro. Look at this guy.
Got divorced publicly, got absolutely owned by Daily Wire. There was a point there where I thought like Tim Pool would have like sided with him because it felt like the audience.
He did kind of, didn't he?
He did because the audience was like, "Yeah, we do love racism. Actually, thank you."
Jordan Peterson do.
Yeah,
for 5 minutes
before he knew it was like shitting on his employer.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
No.
Wait. Side note. Did you get any updates about your debate with JP?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to debate Jordan Peterson at Oxford Union Hall in I think like October or November, some point. I was very excited. And then I talked about how I was going to do the worm to him. And then immediately that night, I found out that he backed out.
No.
Okay,
it's not related to the worm thing. That's a joke. But he did bail.
I knew he would bail. He wouldn't
past
do that.
week. Bitch!
He wouldn't do that. He's a fucking coward.
I don't know why he bailed. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. My management said that he pulled out because of some scheduling conflict or whatever.
Bullshit.
I got a tweet that day.
Bullshit. He can move things around.
Pull out.
I want to believe it. I was willing to go to fucking England to debate this guy in person. You know.
So here's Crowder's Rumble views starting during his massive launch here in.
Which, by the way,
March?
already inflated because it's Rumble, right? Like, we know that websites outside of, I mean, even YouTube has like botting problems, right? Like every website has it, but obviously like the more legitimate ones that especially deploy a lot of AdSense and ad revenue as their primary source of revenue generation and profits do a fairly decent job of stopping any kind of manipulation from happening.
And they don't need it. And frankly, I think botting is fairly expensive. Like doesn't make that much sense to do it. The only reason to do it on YouTube would be ego.
Yeah. Well, you would also do it on Rumble for the same reasons.
Right, but the company has a vested interest. That's the difference.
Exactly. So, you know, there's a lot of that happening in Rumble for sure. One really good way to identify that is if you look at that same exact website, are the daily active users when Steven Crowder's not there? Are they consistent? Are they, are they high? And I don't believe their VOD views are legitimate either. But there it was. He barely broke 100,000 views.
Check this out, man. His most recent video on the platform barely broke 100,000 views. And his preceding video only has 59,000.
I should say that is now outdated because this was published earlier this week or last week, because just the other day he had his big comeback, which we're going to be talking about in a second, which has gotten, I checked this morning, I think it's at 1 million views, which is still a big drop, but
you know what?
It's a big announcement. So
comeback actually means something different to Crowder. That's when he comes on his employee's back.
Yeah.
Literally.
Not even a joke. Don't laugh at that. That's illegal to laugh at.
If you go to his YouTube channel, and I know he's basically migrated to Rumble, but he's still been posting here consistently, and they used to get decent views, but here's a full episode, an hour 10, 110,000. This one has 61,000. Well, this one has 600,000, so congratulations, I guess, on that. This one has 49,000. I mean, it is a graveyard here.
Oh no, the bell is ringing for Steven Crowder's YouTube, brother.
This is your father. Join me. Join me, Crowder.
Oh no.
Together we can expose our dicks to the denizens of hell.
Yeah, looking at his YouTube vids, man. His Mug Club announcement, 63,000 views. So It Begins, Louder with Crowder, 124,000 views. Hottest Day Ever, 110K views. It's crazy that a channel that was like consistently uploading videos went to uploading videos like twice a month, from daily to twice a month, and their viewership did not adjust, because the reality is, if you're uploading daily, your view counts are supposed to be lower. If you
right.
Like the difference between a channel like mine, for example, where I upload daily, I'm always gonna have if I get like 200 to 300,000 views a video, but I'm uploading daily, that's good. If I were to make like longer, more comprehensive analysis videos on my YouTube page and I uploaded twice a month, that would probably mean that I would get views that accumulate and probably be like 1 million plus per video.
Correct.
He's had the exact opposite.
Right.
Where he's like uploading twice or 3 times or 4 times a month instead of like every day, and his view count has plummeted as well. Really bad.
And so, well, he just had his big comeback, and this is a twist that I frankly did not see. Fucking Alex Jones is becoming a full-time cast member on Louder with Crowder. Okay, first question is, how desperate is Alex Jones? His life is really fucked if he's joining this sinking ship.
Well, I mean, he did get hit with the largest defamation suit in the history of the United States of America.
Oh, you're right. It did beat the Dominion Fox News one.
Yeah. No,
right.
Steven Crowder, Alex Jones' defamation suit was larger than the Dominion one, yes.
Oh, God.
Hacker is mad.
Is $1 billion plus.
How did they calculate the damages?
Right?
Yeah, it was over $1 billion. Oh, okay, I remember. The punitive damages.
Yeah.
The actual damages were low. It was the punitive damages because he's just a giant piece of shit that was like $1 billion. That's awesome. But isn't he still doing his show?
InfoWars?
Yeah, isn't he still doing it?
It's unclear. Maybe he will give some clarity on this, but this video that we're going to see, their news conference that they published announcing this. I should say, I don't think that he will actually be full-time on Louder with Crowder. It's more they're starting a network. The Mug Club is a network now.
And so always good.
I think he will have his own show under the Louder with Crowder banner. And I'm sure he'll pop up on the other shows.
Dude, if you're excited to see like Alex Jones and the Hodge twins and some other like failed comics from the 90s on the Mug Club network, oh my Lord, your life
What's
is
the other dumbass?
sad,
Chris D'Elia's friend?
Jim Brewer?
No,
Brian Callen.
Brian Callen.
Loser.
Yeah, he's in this video. He's there for the
moron.
for the press conference.
Dan, you better watch out what you say, brother. You're about to be clipped and shipped into the next fucking video, dude. You better watch out.
Are you kidding? I've been shitting on Brian Callen since day one.
he loves showing his dick to dudes.
He also loves kissing dudes.
Not sure if he's showing his dick to women. That would be gross.
I think he even said, "I don't show it to the ladies," because that's not funny.
Yeah, that's not. But like to the guys, I love just who amongst us doesn't want to just like put their cock on a fellow coworker's shoulder, you know?
Yeah, it's just it's a way of showing affection and love for your dear.
How you make content, man. That's how you get the good stuff.
This is the big announcement. Alex Jones is joining the Mug Club. What's interesting to me is that Steven Crowder is very delicate, and it seems that he has a track record of butting heads with anybody who takes the limelight from him even a tiny bit. So I wonder how Crowder is going to cope with Alex Jones, who is a star, who is more talented, funnier, and crazier, more creative than Crowder.
Alex Jones? Yeah.
How
That's
is
a really
he
good
going
point.
to be? He's going to turn into the beat. He's the beta.
Yeah.
Alex is going to alpha the fuck out of it.
I guess does Alex have it in him to submit to Steven Crowder?
No. Fuck no.
What if he really needs the money though?
Well, but I don't even think it's about Steven Crowder will, just because Alex Jones is who he is. He's an incredible performer. You know what I mean? Has tons of fans. He is going to get butthurt. He is going to feel insecure. Yeah. And he's going to start to feel some type of way, even if Alex Jones isn't doing anything to rub him wrong. So I do wonder if this is...
No, there's definitely going to be internal drama there. You're absolutely right. I didn't even consider that. Alex Jones is 100% an infinitely more entertaining person than Steven Crowder. Yeah, you have to be confident.
So funny.
So here it is, guys. Let's take a look here. Mug Club.
They want to destroy us. Well, guess what? We didn't start this fight. We don't want it. But if you want to fight, you better believe you've got one.
You cannot top that, Steven.
Yeah. No, that's better than anything Steven Crowder has ever done.
Absolutely.
God, I really wish.
Dude, I love his build, man.
I've said this before. Like, people kind of get mad at me when I say this, but we don't deserve Alex Jones. Like, he is...
That body.
He is... Yeah, he's hot. He's so fucking hot. He is creating content at a higher level. The only problem is that, like, other people can't appreciate him in the way that we do, where they take him seriously and start acting out on the insane things that he says. Like, if everybody understood it as satire, as performance art, like, he would be a cherished celebrity.
I think if Tim and Eric produced his show, then he would be like right next to Eric Andre.
I mean, this isn't even that unique of a perspective. That's the reason why he was in A Scanner Darkly.
Where did Substance D come from? Why can't we stop it? The bigger this war gets, the more freedoms we lose, the more Substance D is on our streets. Can't you figure this out? It's time to stop submitting to this tyranny. It's time to realize that we're being enslaved. Uh-oh, it's our tax dollars at work. Protect us from ourselves. Hey guys, I used to be one of you. Stop selling out your own species.
And numerous other, what was it?
One of the best parts of the movie.
Paul Thomas Anderson?
Death and taxes. Don't talk about politics or religion. This is all the equivalent of enemy propaganda rolling across the picket line. Lay down, GI. Lay down, GI. We saw it all through the 20th century. And now in the 21st century, it's time to stand up and realize that we should not allow ourselves to be crammed into this rat maze. We should not submit to dehumanization. I don't know about you, but I'm concerned with what's happening in this world. I'm concerned with the structure. I'm concerned with the systems of control. Those that control my life and those that seek to control it even more. I want freedom. That's what I want, and that's what you should want. It's up to each and every one of us to turn loose of just some of the greed, the hatred, the envy, and yes, the insecurities, because that is the central mode of control. Make us feel pathetic, small, so we'll willingly give up our sovereignty, our liberty, our destiny. We have got to realize that we're being conditioned on a mass scale. Start challenging this corporate slave state. The 21st century is going to be a new century. Not the century of slavery, not the century of lies and issues of no significance and classism and statism and all the rest of the modes of control. It's gonna be the age of humankind standing up for something pure and something right. What a bunch of garbage, liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republican. It's all there to control you, two sides of the same coin. Two management teams bidding for control, the CEO job of Slavery Incorporated. The truth is out there in front of you, but they lay out this buffet of lies. I'm sick of it, and I'm not gonna take a bite out of it. Do you got me?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there, like, even when he was doing public radio, like, he was a fascinating figure in Austin that a lot of people paid attention to and thought was like uniquely entertaining. There is like, when you don't think about the genuine impact his words have on a broader population of colloidal silver consumers, without that, he's actually a brilliant entertainer.
Well, let's see.
What a loving liberal.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, yeah,
We have comedy specials. We have.
He's already insecure. Look at him.
New shows, the investigative unit, which we've discussed. And again, you get a free shirt at loudwithcrowder.com/mugclub. But we have another announcement to make regarding a new...
Shout out to the 50 people still watching. And the 5 people left working here.
Acquisition here. And by the way, I'll be taking your chats here after this. We'll be taking some questions from the press, so you can send your chats in right now on Mug Club. And we'll be releasing more information regarding some of the developments. But this is one that we're all pretty excited about. And again, if it was just business, it wouldn't make sense.
What does he mean by that? If it was just business, it wouldn't make sense.
He's saying he's bad at business. It's more than that. Like, he wants to show his cock to Alex Jones.
No, is he saying he's paying him too much money that he's going to lose money from this?
I think he is. This is the thing that he tried to do originally with Daily Wire. It's a continuation of that same narrative that he's like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm actually racist. Like, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Like, I'm putting $50 million aside so I can be as racist as I want to be. Does that make sense? That's why he's saying it doesn't make business sense.
But he's talking about hiring Alex Jones.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't make business sense. Like, it doesn't make good business sense.
Because he's a liability.
Yeah.
Got it.
After this, we'll be taking some questions from the press, so you can send your chats in right now on Mug Club. And we'll be releasing more information regarding some of the developments. But this is one that we're all pretty excited about. And again...
God, he's dead inside. I mean, you could just
Dude,
tell.
he just needs... I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, actually. He needs a little bit of buccal fat removal, and this man would look much different. Like, I don't know why.
Come on, look at those biceps.
No, he's
man.
like actually jacked. He genuinely is jacked. Probably on TRT, I suspect. But no matter how jacked he gets, he always has a like comical.
He has
face.
a cartoonish kind of.
He has like a very
face.
jovial face.
Yeah. Buckle fat. All right, Steven, get on it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense.
Pause for laughter.
This is a man who was removed from the platforms of Apple, Spotify, Google, Facebook, Meta, X, whatever the hell it is, all on the same day. But there's no coordination. It's just coincidence. And there were, by the way, many people back then who said, well, that's just him. He's too extreme. That's just an isolated case. It won't happen to me. Well, are you paying attention now?
Wait, what?
No, because you're on Rumble, so we can't pay attention.
Wait, he goes, yo, if Alex Jones can get canceled for like denying the Holocaust, I don't know if he did that. I don't think he did actually.
He always is like,
then it can happen to you.
He does the precursor to like, he does the precursor to like the lizard people. He doesn't tie it back to Jews usually. He'll just do the other stuff like the Rothschilds and whatever. But remember when he talked to Kanye and he was like, no, you don't understand. No, it's not the Jews. And Kanye was like, no, actually it is.
So he is a Jewish ally, I think.
Yeah, he's a big ally.
But I like that. He's like, if Alex Jones can lose a defamation case for accusing the parents of slain children of being crisis actors, then it can happen to you too.
People who we all expect to stand in a line of fire, who are supposed to be brothers in arms, tucked tail and ran. They struck plea bargains with the platforms who, for a period of time, would punish anyone who even hosted him as a guest. This is the canary in the coal mine. These people at these big tech platforms, they tell you that they'll never come for you, that you can keep your tens of millions in revenue or millions that you make from their platforms. And really all that means is that if you're lucky, really lucky, they'll kill you last. Well, they tried to kill this next man first. And if he's honest, he'll tell you.
Get on with it, bro. We're here for Alex Jones.
They did a lot of damage. But if there's one thing you can say about this man, love him or hate him, is that he will fight for this country with every last breath in his body, and he just won't die.
Yeah,
so
no, he'll fight for
pride that I can convey.
He'll fight to sell you, his supplements till with the very last breath that he has in his body. That's for sure.
This here is a apocalyptic slop bucket. Lasts for 20 years in total darkness.
Yeah.
It's made of asbestos, rat poison, and a mix of wheat and rice.
You can't have an echo chamber. Echo chambers are dangerous.
I totally agree.
Here's the thing. Even if people are wrong about many things, it doesn't mean you can't be their friend. What's important is whoever that person is, they got to be sincere. Now, as soon as you feel like someone's a grifter, you got to cast them out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthroplex is the newest edition at InfoWarsLife.com.
The patented nanosilver we have, this stuff kills the whole SARS corona family at point blank range.
We have developed the ultimate male vitality supplement with 8 concentrated super herbs.
DNA Force, ladies and gentlemen. X3, now available at InfoWarsLife.com.
Alpha Brain, it's 100% legit. If I go to a UFC and I don't have Alpha Brain, I panic.
It has got all the bone broth and so much more. This is why the ancients, they believed, had such better bones, so much healthier. You look it up. You could freeze this, and this would be better than like Bluebell chocolate ice cream.
The thing I will never understand about a lot of these
flavored with lead
is that they are like not Steven Crowder. I get with Steven Crowder, he has to ham up the racism because like he doesn't have anything else carrying his content. But like Alex Jones could have genuinely maybe dove into like more acceptable conspiracies that without like urging his audience to act out violent things on behalf of him. You know what I mean? He could have done that, but no, he has to be like omega right wing, like far right. I don't understand it. Like he's entertaining enough. He didn't need to do all that.
Maybe he is crazy. I don't know. We shouldn't doubt him.
Yeah.
You know.
As much surprised, by the way, as you in landing this white whale, the #1 draft pick, without a doubt, out there.
He is white and he is a whale.
I like that he just shit on him and said like he has no prospects, and then was like, but he's the #1 white
He's
whale.
white whale, baby. And
He's
I'm
the hardest
Captain
guy to get.
Call me Captain Ahab because I'm about to fuck this whale. Or, well, he's definitely going to show him his dick. We know that.
Time he will launch his subscription network
like that.
exclusively.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think he fucked the whale.
I'm rewriting his classic.
I don't know.
Under the mug.
I don't know if Steven Crowder recognizes that like The Blaze, which he was under, or The Daily Wire, which he almost went under the banner of, or numerous other right-wing media platforms that he has existed under, are almost always backed by either shadow donors or openly like big donors that are in the oil industry, for example. PragerU, Daily Wire, they got oil barons that are backing them, right? Like you can't launch an independent media network specifically with crowdsourced with crowdsourced donations. You can't do that. You have to either engage in astroturfing or you have to have big ticket backers that are just going to pump you with $1 million here and there when you need it the most.
So jealous.
It is. It's just not fair.
Where's George Soros, man?
There's no fucking reason that we shouldn't be like as rich or richer than these clowns.
Yeah, it's odd. It's like so weird that
not that we're not doing poorly. I'm just saying.
It's so weird that billionaires won't back me whenever I keep saying that they should not exist. It's so odd that individually rich billionaires
I'm pro bill. No,
keep giving me money.
See, no, and I'm not you. I'm pro billion. I like billionaires.
I know, but I'm on
guys. You listening?
I'm on the show.
Well,
George Soros.
listen, his opinions are his own.
Yeah.
George Soros, are you watching? All organized buses
Demon.
to the polls, whatever
George
you want
Soros,
me to do.
you're a fucking demon.
A Club Umbrella, starting with his new Friday show.
I think liberals care more about like civility and don't value just straight up misinforming the audience and creating propaganda beyond liberal media. Liberal media already does that enough, so they don't see additional value in like pumping a shitload of money into the likes of I don't know, YouTubers and whatnot. In the same way that like right-wing wealthy people do see value in misinformation and propaganda that you can definitely get away with much further on the YouTube side.
I'm of the mind that you can have a chat with anybody as long as you have, prepared to counter their arguments.
I agree.
Give a voice to.
I agree with that as long as there is. I agree with that as long as there is. I just weigh the pros and cons in that situation, and if the cons outweigh the pros, like for example, if it's already been dealt with in the sense that like this person has like
lost everything.
Ridiculous ideas, but they don't have like a major audience.
Yeah,
then
got you.
I see it as like
It's a win for him.
A win for them, even if they are humiliated in that conversation.
Yeah, I got you. It's fair. All right,
On August 18th, ladies and gentlemen.
That was weird.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn
It's
the
still
friggin'
playing.
frogs
Wait, what the
gay.
fuck happened?
This is part of it. This is their intro.
Stalin took the guns.
Whole blackout.
Did they play the bell in?
Chavez took the guns.
For the record, this is supposed to be like the wrestler, the Undertaker.
1776.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's not you playing the bell.
No. That
okay, they got their own bell.
Don't fuck around. That's
No,
our
I
bell.
swear.
No, that was in the video.
That was in the video. I swear to God.
No shot. I'm going back.
You can. Our bells are different. Wait, I'll play mine.
Yeah, that's a different bell.
What?
And then this is ours. Oh, wait, what the fuck?
Oh my God! They actually paid the death knell.
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
I think that's homage to a wrestler named the Undertaker.
Yeah, and they're doing an Undertaker wrestling entrance.
Jesus, man, the Undertaker is coming to Barry Crowder's career at this
Well,
point.
yeah, I mean, I get it. He's undefeated.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I cannot believe they played the death knell.
Yeah.
There it is, Steven.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Remember, they're like, remember when he said this?
The greatest hits.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns.
Yes.
Hugo Chavez took the guns.
Yes, more guns.
You try to take our guns, 1776 will commence again.
We have like 500 million guns in the country. They're taking our guns. Piles of guns.
Sticking with Facebook, it is one of several companies today that are limiting the content of far-right podcast InfoWars.
Facebook, Apple, and YouTube have all taken down content from Jones and his InfoWars channel.
Whenever I talk about Alex Jones, my wife will not let me into the house until I've been deloused.
Anyone who believes in Alex Jones.
Yo! Cameo.
Devil. Jank. You're the best for that.
And believes these theories, you really gotta go get help.
Alex Jones has been ordered to pay $965 million.
Look how there's a move to control information. There's always been. And it ought to scare people that you got to move to indoctrinate the children of America. If they can get you to be part of a...
Oh, seriously? Come on. You guys are sick.
Also, this is a clip from like 1998.
Yeah, what? You don't have something newer than that? Like, here's a teacher.
Look how there's a move to control information. There's always been. And it ought to scare people that you got to move.
Here's the
to
teacher with a
indoctrinate
pride flag emoji. Actually, it's not even in the classroom. It's just an emoji.
the children of America. If they can get you to be part of a group.
Also, the class is empty. There's no kids.
An environmentalist or part of your minority group.
Black, Latino, and indigenous people are suffering and dying
Wait.
disproportionately.
Wait. What? Get a load of this dummy. One more time, play it back. Look how dumb she is.
Minority group. Black, Latino, and indigenous people are suffering and dying disproportionately.
L? They're like, yeah, man. These people are talking about minorities.
Terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
They'll have their little tailor-made people that are bought and paid for to claim to be your leader.
We're looking at a giant war in February right now. Currently, that's the projection.
Why are they playing clips of him making inaccurate predictions?
No, he's right. He's Nostradamus.
He's Nostradamus. We are actually at war and have been for 2 years now. People don't realize that.
I think a bit with him with a crystal ball would be pretty dope.
Entire agenda afoot to force the population to undergo different type of medical treatments, namely vaccines.
In 2002, there is a tyrannical organization calling itself the New World Order, pushing for worldwide government, a cashless society.
If any terrorism comes, it's from this government. And if there was an outside threat,
Yo, it looks like he's about to come out with like a bomb strapped to his chest, walk into like an elementary school.
Bin Laden, who was a known
Look at
CIA
this.
asset in the 80s, running the Mujahideen War, and whose family
He's about
builds
to go
all the
Unabomber.
military bases over in Saudi Arabia right now, sits on the board of Iridium Satellite. He's the boogeyman they need.
Here he is. Everybody hit the floor.
I've been called a liar. I've been silenced on virtually every platform created
Don't
by
come to
man.
work today.
My life has been threatened.
Some of you are cool.
If he stuck to half of the stuff that they're showing here, he would be fine and just like stayed with that. Like mass surveillance, attack helicopters, black helicopters,
Right.
and like didn't extend it into like Sandy Hook survivors or crisis actors. You know what I mean? But you always got to ramp it up. You got to ramp up the narrative.
The black, the black helicopters. All that's fun. It's silly. It's fun.
Like,
you know what I mean?
You know, they're making the friggin' frogs gay. Like it's true. Well, they're not making them gay. They're making them trans. But still,
What's
you
the
know?
difference at the end of the day?
But I've survived. And that's why I'm joining Mug Club.
Oh God, Jesus! Embarrassing to see that.
Yeah. There he is.
Look at the red light shining on that beautiful dome, my friends.
It's embarrassing to see a legend fall so far from grace. You know?
I agree. I mean, Alex Jones joining the Mug Club is a bottom. Frankly, I never predicted for him.
Yeah.
But at least he's still here.
Alex Jones, everybody.
Wow.
God, he's
Brian, look at
he's
Brian
so
Callen.
jacked, dude. I love him.
Dude, he's a beefcake, bro.
He is a hamburger.
You could make like a fucking whole. You could make like a whole dinner from his body. A dinner
Dude,
for like
I don't
a whole
know what
platoon.
I don't know what it is. I mean, he has talked about cannibalizing his neighbors before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
He looks
want to give him a
tasty, bro.
hug.
Like to
How to
spit
do the
roast his
hamburger with
ass
your
over an
dick in
open
your
flame.
balls.
You know what I mean?
People say they like dad bods. Like that's a real dad bod right there.
They
That's
don't like
divorced
that. People
dad
who
bod.
say that don't like dad bods.
Yeah, that's the divorced dad bod.
When people say they like dad bods, don't get excited, guys.
You're
Let
not
me
fucking ready for this kind of dad bod. This is some real daddy shit.
Let me show you what a real dad bod looks like.
He is
Look
full,
at this.
full bear mode.
Hold on. Let me look. Here. This is what comes up when I search dad bod. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Wow.
Man, what embarrassing.
Love
he really let himself
12%.
go.
Love 12% body fat maximum.
That's
10%
me.
body fat maximum. Wow. What a.
That's me, dad bod.
What a slob.
You want to see what's a real dad bod? Here. This is a dad bod.
Yes.
Nobody likes. I mean, no offense to Seth Rogen. He's he's sexy in his
delightful.
own right. But
Yeah.
this is a dad bod. Here he is.
There he is.
Thank you.
He's giving like Santa Claus alcoholic down bad.
Yeah. Why is he so red?
Mrs. Claus left me. I've been hitting the liquor pretty hard.
I've been hitting the eggnog a little too hard. Miss Claus took the kids and the presents.
Took my elves. Took my little elves. They were my little helpers.
Those little fuckers went out with Mick Claus. She got him in the
I kept trying to put my dick on their shoulders. They were too low to the ground. Couldn't do it. So now with Steven Crowder's help, I can do. He'll put his dick on my shoulder. I put my dick on his.
Brian Callen, you're gonna be my elf now, bitch.
Real macho shit.
Everybody tuning in. I want to thank everybody tuning in right now, but I want to be deadly serious here. I've not been this excited ever. Woo! Yeah, Mug Club, baby. Wow. So, I've known Steven for more than 10 years. Used to, beg him to come on my show. Always a really busy guy, and he's been popular forever. But we kind of knew each other. But as soon as I got deplatformed, he saw as a threat. He said, I want you on immediately. The day after, when everybody else was running away, including my
friends. He was like, no,
yeah,
this is
because he saw clout. Because you were still like a known entity.
Yeah, everybody was riding for him.
Yeah,
Hey,
Joe Rogan
was
had you
riding
on
for him.
too.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
is that a Rolex he's wearing? Because we're gonna have to talk about.
yeah, we got to lean on that bad boy. What's happening there? Liquidation Station.
I wouldn't be wearing that on camera because they're gonna come for that Rolex.
He's at it for a decent amount of time now.
Gen
What's
Z
up,
doesn't know how to write a check.
What exactly is the purpose of knowing how to write a check nowadays unless you're an employer or a grandparent giving somebody money for Christmas? The most efficient way to give somebody money is through something like PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, Apple Pay. It does the same thing your checkbook does. It connects to your bank account and gives somebody money. And the difference is it happens in a matter of seconds instead of waiting 2 to 3 days to clear for something you wrote on a piece of paper. Next.
They don't know how to address an envelope.
The only time somebody needs to address something with an envelope is if it's something important like tax documents. Everything nowadays is done with digital documents through email and text message and encrypted messaging through WhatsApp. There's no point.
They don't know how to read cursive.
I remember in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, it was required for the second half of the year. Everything we did had to be written in cursive. And they were very insistent on, now you're going to have to know how to use this in the adult world because everybody in the adult world writes in cursive. Wrong. When in reality, the only time people use cursive in the adult world is signing their name or is if they're writing something with a feather by candlelight. And for what? The writing to take 10 times longer and for you to get smudgy writing because you told us not to move our hand from the page?
They don't know how to read a paper map.
First off, who the hell owns a paper map in 2023?
They can't get anywhere unless there's a GPS map on their phone.
And with all this damn construction y'all have never stopping on the roads, what would be the point of a paper map? You would have to get a new one every month. Even the GPSs are having trouble keeping up with all the damn roads y'all keep adding.
All I'm saying is if Gen Z takes over the world, it's gonna be pretty easy to get it back.
Oh, I'm so terrified. Y'all certainly gonna take the world back from Gen Z with your horses and your snail mail and your muskets. Meanwhile, we got instant messaging, GPS, and fucking drones. Bragging about knowing how to do stuff that's not relevant anymore is not a flex. Imagine going like, yeah, Gen Z, you can run in a full-on sprint, but do you know how to walk? Oh, yeah. You don't know how to do this, do you? Also, was this supposed to be a comedy? Because that was about as funny as a Dane Cook movie. Yeah, let me know when people like you know how to open a PDF and then we can talk.
Women party people are religious bullshit, religious bullshit, religious bullshit. It's time for religious bullshit, motherfuckers. It's time for religious bullshit. Boom goes the dynamite. And first off, all tonight's a religious bullshit. As usual, California youth pastor gets 60 days in child sex plea deal. Seems wrong. Imagine if you or I did this. A youth pastor at Fowler Church is headed to jail for just under 2 months after pleading guilty to a lesser charge connected to the sexual assault of a child. An investigation into 46-year-old Gabe Geringer began in 2018 when a victim came forward. According to the Pueblo County Sheriff's, Geringer was originally charged with felony sexual assault on a child and a pattern of sexual assault on a child in connection to a sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl that began in 2010. So super cool, justice system. Seems like there's a separate tier for these Christian pedophiles. Put them under the goddamn jail. And then, naked pastor arrested for masturbating outside Walmart. I'm almost okay with this one. At least there was no children involved. Someone summoned the Kenosha County Sheriff's Department to Somers Walmart early Thursday morning, August 10th. The person saw a male white, fully naked, standing next to a black truck and appeared to be masturbating. That's a weird fucking kink, yo. I'm freaky as shit, but I ain't never got naked and gone whacked it at the Walmart. Oh no, I gotta step my game up apparently. Preachers are more excited than I am now. According to Kenosha County Sheriff, Ryan Markowski, 57, was seen by responding deputies quickly getting into the truck while still naked. Bartmer reportedly admitted to the act. According to its website, Bartmer is a pastor at Lighthouse Church in Antioch, Illinois. So, yeah, keep going there. Keep giving this guy your money. Your kids are next. Your move, Christians. And then, Imagine being this much of a fucking dork. Like I said on the last show, you can't be cool while you're doing Christianity. Christianity and coolness just don't mix. So imagine being such a fucking dork. You go to a massage parlor where you know they give happy endings. You know that's what you're going there for, but you go there specifically so when the girl goes to give you a happy ending, you can call the cops on her and claim that you're a pious Christian. Oh my, I can't believe you try to touch my penis. You going to jail. Yet we see right through you. Getting sex workers arrested for clout. You fucking dork.
This lady tried to touch on me at a massage place and then refused to give my money back. She going to jail. She tried to grab my genitals. She going to jail. And they wonder why Christians having a hard time making it to heaven. I stand for Jesus.
Yeah, I stand for Jesus. While I went to this massage parlor I specifically knew gave hand jobs. You fucking lying motherfucker, goddammit.
Okay, so it's been fairly well known in the massage industry for a very long time that there is something referred to as happy endings. It is not technically prostitution because there's no intercourse involved. What it is the person performing the massage will massage that special area of a man, pretty much exclusively men, as far as I know. I mean, if it was women, they would be there all night long before they got to the happy ending. So I'm presuming it's just men because they're a lot quicker to dispense with. Generally, it's requested by the man, and the answer by a massage therapist, and massage therapists are pretty aware of this term, and the answer is either yes or no. A lot of girls say yes because they want to make the extra money. So he's happy, she's happy, everybody's happy except for this Christian who has it in his mind that he's going to make everybody miserable, and he's going to try to turn the woman's life upside down, the business's life upside down, because that's really what Christianity has become about. Basically sticking your nose into the business of everybody else and seeing who you can torment or send to jail or get fired or whatever. And you should probably note here that he did this to turn it into a video to put online to generate clicks and clout and maybe money, but at the very least some sort of clout within the Christian community about what a selfless man of God he is. He doesn't give in to no temptation, except for the temptation of ego, of course, because he has to put this online. So it's pretty shameless clout chasing here.
They're always trying so hard to pretend to be so pious and godly, but we see right the fuck through you, you Jesus clout chasers. And then, folks, no one's going to be surprised at this. No one's going to be shocked at all. But apparently pastors are now complaining that their congregation are saying Jesus was a pussy. Jesus was way too liberal. They're rejecting the teachings of Christ because he was too much about loving your enemies and turning your other cheek for modern day conservatives. Let's have a short list. I'm not going to put the whole thing, but Christianity Today editor-in-chief Russell Moore explains it.
Well, it was the result of having multiple pastors tell me essentially the same story about quoting the Sermon on the Mount parenthetically in their preaching. Turn the other cheek. To have someone come up after and say, where did you get those liberal talking points?
Yep.
Wow, that is something. That is the voice of Russell Moore, the editor-in-chief of Christianity Today, talking to NPR about partisan tribalism that has seeped into Christianity.
I mean, no fucking shit. Trump is their new god now. All they care about is hurting people. The misery of their enemies. Are you owned? Are you owned? They don't give a fuck about Christianity. They never gave a fuck about Christianity. They just used to pay more lip service to it than they do now. But now, the mask is off. They don't actually give a fuck. I wish you guys would just quit fucking pretending. You're not fooling anybody. I guess maybe you're fooling each other, but you're not fucking fooling us. So that is my religious bullshit this week.
I want y'all to drink this fucking beer. I want y'all to drink this fucking beer. I got 3 cases of Bud Light. Hey, and I want to say this. If you're gay, bless you. If you're transgender, bless you. And if you have a problem with that, fuck you.
When this study popped up, we thought, you got to weigh in on this. They say that Gen Zers come in, they're sincere, but if they have no necessary instinct on what to do next, find them a lot sitting idly by waiting for instructions on what to do next. Does that make sense to you? Something about this generation that would have trouble being self-motivated?
Well, I think that if you set up an education system that's designed to do nothing but demoralize young people.
It's odd to address Gen Z when you are absolutely tailoring this messaging and your broadcast to your true audience, which is boomers, their grandparents. This video is not cut for Gen Z. Not a single Gen Z eye will see this video, especially on television, maybe on YouTube, on accident, but certainly not on TV. The idea that a single Gen Z eye will see this is laughable, which is the kind of attitude that I want you to have while you're watching this, because it's probably going to be tailored towards not necessarily Gen Z, but their grandparents. Gen Z's soft skills struggle, make change at the register, work with others, make eye contact, deal with frustration, stay off their phones, take initiative. This is basically all millennials know how to be bisexual, eat hot chip, and lie, charge their phone. My parents won't get the off their phones. Yeah. Meanwhile, Grandpa definitely knows how to deal with frustration. And while he might not be on his phone, Grandpa's watching Fox News for 12 hours a day. What the do you mean? Does Grandpa know how to work with others? Does Grandpa deal with frustration well? So dumb.
The education system has been trying to demoralize people for 60 years. One of the things that really stuns me, I haven't been able to figure this out yet. I've been trying to talk to Republican governors about this. I cannot understand why conservatives have been daft enough to allow the faculties of education to retain their hammerlock on teacher certification for the last 60 years. It's insane.
You mean the criteria to get the certification and what's in it?
You have to be trained in a faculty of education to become a teacher. Why? They're the most woke element of the entire rotten university carcass. The conservatives are always complaining about the culture war. It's like, well, you handed all the young people to the faculties of education, right? Their research is terrible. It's low rate. Their students are generally very incompetent.
Is he crazy? Is he suggesting that we just defund them? These godforsaken institutions, just defund them. They're churning out propaganda.
Okay, so it should be noted here that forces on the right have been pushing to tear apart the currently existing educational system. They do not like classical educations, which are extraordinarily good for people and really develop people and get them a broader, more complex view of the world and their own lives. It's a very good thing. I think everybody should have a good classical education. But a classical education to the right is a lefty woke education. How studying the Greek classics, for instance, might be considered woke and lefty, I don't know. Maybe because they were fond of gay sex. I don't know. But for those who may have stumbled into this show accidentally from the right, or even from the center, who consider themselves skeptics and critics of the establishment, I want you to keep in mind that over 100 years ago, John D. Rockefeller was very interested in making sure that the educational system was essentially undermined. So he wanted people just smart enough to pull the levers in the factories, but dumb enough that they keep their mouths shut when it comes to running the country, and let the politicians and their masters, the captains of industry, make all of the important decisions. There is John D. Rockefeller and all of his creepy glory. There is perhaps no other person who lent more credence to the idea that the planet is being run by shape-shifting lizard men than John D. Rockefeller. Here we have a friend and associate of John D. Rockefeller, H.L. Mencken, commenting on education by saying, "The aim of public education is not to spread enlightenment at all." You could redefine that as the goal of education is not to spread woke doctrine. It is simply to reduce as many individuals as possible to the same safe level, to breed and train a standardized citizenry, to put down dissent and originality. So education, as envisioned by the right-wing global elite, is a control mechanism designed to keep you just smart enough to pull the levers and dumb enough not to question your position in the hierarchy. So John D. Rockefeller, way back in the early part of the 20th century, created something called the General Education Board, which had an initial grant from Rockefeller of $1 million, which in today's money would be around $33 million. During the course of his lifetime, he would give $180 million to the project, which in today's money is billions of dollars. So he had an enormous interest in education. And what was that interest? Well, let's look at what his chosen chairman of the General Education Board had to say about the purpose of Rockefeller's institution. Quote, "We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers or men of learning or of science. We are not to raise up from among them authors, orators, poets, or men of letters. We shall not search for embryo great artists, painters, musicians, nor will we cherish even the humbler ambition to raise up from among them lawyers, doctors, preachers, politicians, statesmen, of whom we now have ample supply." So again, this is immediately sounding like this just focus on the basics mantra that you hear out of the right wing today. So it goes on to say, "We are to follow the admonitions of the good apostle," throwing a little Bible in there for you, of course, who said, "Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low degree." So basically there he's saying, forget about those highfalutin, woke, liberal, philosophical educations that look at the Greek classics and the classics and literatures and the humanities and, who try to make you a more rounded, thoughtful, educated human being. Throw all that away. We're going to send you into the wood shop, and we're going to teach you other things that are necessary to help you run the machines for us. We don't want you thinking too much. Stay away from high things. But you might say, isn't that awful dangerous? Because some of the greatest minds in human history sort of came up out of humble beginnings. Well, they've accounted for that. It says here, if by chance a child of genius should spring up from the soil, that genius will surely bud and not be blighted. So basically they're saying if you're a especially gifted person, you're going to rise up via the meritocracy to your rightful place, whatever that might be. Somewhere below John D. Rockefeller. Now it's important to note that the Trilateral Commission, which featured Jordan Peterson as their keynote speaker, so their central voice at the event, was partially founded by David Rockefeller, the direct descendant of John D. Rockefeller, who is famous for saying, "I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers." Of course, the Trilateral Commission is one of the best-known international power elite gatherings out there. As you can see here from their website, it was founded in 1973 by David Rockefeller, who is a direct descendant of John D. Rockefeller. Their global membership is designed to bring together senior policymakers, business leaders, and representatives of various other disciplines. But policymakers and business leaders being first on the list. Here is a collage of photographs of David Rockefeller, who is the direct descendant of John D. Rockefeller and founder of the Trilateral Commission. You can see him there hobnobbing primarily with the elite political leaders of the right wing, almost all Republicans. So we have Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, we have Henry Kissinger, although Kissinger kind of flopped between parties, being a representative of the global elite. He didn't take sides. And there's a photo there of Rockefeller with Clinton, who is sort of, I think, universally recognized as the most right-leaning of all Democratic presidents. But the quote there up on the left is of particular interest. So in his autobiography, he wrote, "Some people believe we being the Rockefeller family, are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it." Now, what you see coming out of the right wing now, though, is all of those things that the wealthy elite in the right wing have been trying to expunge from the educational system, that being all those sort of higher things, the higher thinking and stuff. They want people just smart enough to operate machines. But now, the right wing are basically alleging that woke liberal doctrine is attempting to dumb people down. One of the perfect examples of this that they put out there is the whole transgender agenda. They say, well, look how stupid they are. They think that men can be women. Now, that's a disingenuous argument for anybody who understands that debate, but they use that quite effectively to show how dumb the left is, and they blame this on the educational establishment, which they claim is dumbing people down, and that we need to get back to the basics. When, in fact, when you do get back to the basics and go all the way back to the early part of the 20th century, we see the right wing was the ones who openly stated that they wanted to dumb people down, and that somehow being educated in the greatest literature and philosophers and minds of human history is somehow going to make you stupid and think that, for instance, men can be women. Okay, the John D. Rockefeller model is designed to dumb you down and make you not question the systems of power. And as Jordan Peterson always goes on and on about, respecting the hierarchy and knowing your place and keeping your own room clean and not speaking up until your life is perfect. That is the John D. Rockefeller model that he and the Trilateral Commission support. But now they're trying to say that this new, more expansive educational system is dumbing people down. So when you see this attack on modern education, I want you to keep that in mind and ask yourself whether or not your tendency to talk about woke this and woke that and woke education might be something that has been programmed into your brain by the right-wing establishment, whom I will remind you has served corporate America and the wealthy elite for a very long time. And now they claim to be representing the little guy? Come on. If you look through history, whenever there's been financial collapses and stuff, who came to the rescue of the little guys? It was the left. And I think this is a fear of the right, so they're doing everything in their power to undermine the left, and I think the transgender debate is part of this. They want the as many people as possible to hate and despise the left and think it's ridiculous, because if there is a financial collapse, which many people are predicting somewhere down the road, history has suggested that people will rush to the left to get the power of the state to help feed people and house people and take care of them in the crisis. The global elite do not want the population to rush to the left. So what they're doing right now, some would argue, is demonizing the left. And part of that is keeping them away from the institutions of education, which I would argue teach people to be more empathetic, unless you get into the business administration department, where they teach you to be more sociopathic. But outside of business administration and outside of the trades, if you get into the Faculty of Arts, which will include things like political science and philosophy and all of this stuff, and even the Faculty of Science to a certain degree, they teach you to be more thoughtful, more empathetic, and a more caring, fuller, more developed human being. And that is a good thing. So why is the right wing so obsessed with attacking the educational system? Jordan Peterson, I can prove, is a pathological liar and an agent of the establishment. That's why he was the keynote speaker at the Trilateral Commission, one of the most elite gatherings of the global super wealthy and powerful in the world. And he was their boy. So keep that in mind. He also worked with the founder of BlackBerry at the United Nations. And he sometimes talks about how he was recruited to help with a project to address the issue of global sustainability. But what he doesn't talk about so much is that his job in that project was as a propagandist. So he took the final text of their suggestions and propagandized it and took out what he called the ideological claptrap. That would be the woke left stuff. And he turned it into a propaganda document. So he is a propagandist for the elite. That's what he is. And that is what he was doing before he became this high-profile public figure in the transgender debate that I became a key figure in. And you will note that in my time in the headlines in Canada, Jordan Peterson stayed a mile away from me. And this is because he doesn't want to discuss this issue with me. But I have and I will continue to challenge Jordan Peterson to a public debate on transgender issues. An honest debate. And we'll talk about what he knows and what he doesn't know and what he's up to.
So that's all you have to do if you want to motivate young people, is to teach them a bit of visionary discipline and encourage it. And we do the opposite of that. Plus, we terrify them. Trigger warnings. We tell them that everything's dangerous.
Yeah, that's what's stopping children from learning, you know? Trigger warnings and stuff. That's what's terrifying children in schools is fucking trigger warnings. My man is perma-stuck in 2016 so hard, dude. This is such a fucking 2014 to 2016 era. Absolute idiotic, dumbass fucking take. I thought we killed this. I thought this was dead. I thought this was not a thing that people were saying. Like, who the fuck still complains about trigger warnings? Who? This isn't being a petty bitch for his licensure being threatened for being a dumbass? Yeah, I mean, he was posting about how it was hard for him to find child porn on Twitter. No wonder they threatened to remove his license. Don't throw Haz. That's a real tweet that he posted. Was there ever actually anyone who expected trigger warnings IRL? I mean, they will do it in like a college or something, in an educational setting. Sometimes they issue it before, like, maybe not a movie, but like a YouTube video or something. Or a news broadcast, like trigger warning images and depictions of police brutality. One thing that I said a long time ago, when tone indicators were being utilized online, one thing I always said is it's actually not that bad for tone indicators to exist in text, because it is absolutely, it's not like you have to use them, right? And people already use tone indicators in the form of emojis and emotes. But tone indicators isn't just for people with autism. It's just for everybody, really. It's a good way to communicate, because man is a social animal. You pick and choose things that work, and the things that don't work, the things that are otherwise seen as silly, like Latinx, are slowly but surely shelved or relegated to the sacred halls of academia in certain circumstances. That's it. birthing person. You will never in a million years see someone drop that in public when describing a fucking human being. It's just never happening. That is never going to happen. I go to the wokest fucking circles, okay? Trust me. The only time I've heard people talk about birthing person one way or another is always right-wing reactionaries getting mad about a problem that does not exist. Maybe in a medical context. That's it. It is so fucking dumb to get upset about it. It's just like this is most conservative commentary. Vice signaling about certain accommodations made that are not even nonsensical, but at worst just have no harm conducted to another person. Maybe annoys you a little bit when you see it. All they do is chirp, 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 chirp about this as though it's like eviscerating Western civilization, as it's destroying Western civilization. If Western civilization is so indestructible, how the hell is it crumbling because someone used a trigger warning?
When you're making important decisions, you're always balancing one catastrophe against another. You don't have the option that everything's going to turn out. And so the problem with accommodation, well, first of all, it's going to be gamed, and it's being gamed like mad. And second, it gives the person who's being accommodated to the wrong picture of the world to which they're going to adapt. You think about this with parenthood. How should you treat your kids?
Here's why I can never take this seriously, because the world is not a meritocracy, no matter how hard this fucking dingus tries to claim it is. Not a meritocracy at all. That's why people get so mad at nepotism. It's like, dude, listen, affluent families are able to have accommodations made for them in the form of not having to have their child work a job, for example, while they're going to school. There is no real meritocracy, pure grit, because there is no real base level of material equality. Jordan Peterson used to always say, equality of outcome is not what we want. We want equality of opportunity, which we have. And now these neo-Marxist postmodernists want equality of outcome. It's like, no, dumbass. Point to me a single place in society where there has ever been equality of opportunity truly established. It does not exist. That's what people are advocating for. That's what people want. Equality of opportunity. You are just using yet another straw man to make it seem like equality of opportunity is actually just equality of outcome. Bro, you nail him so well. It's because I spent so many years duking it out online with Jordan Peterson dick riders who were some of the most unimaginably annoying assholes that I literally picked up on his mannerisms and his voice and all of his arguments. Some of which are in here as fans of mine now, luckily, because they've changed their mentality over the course of the 2014 all the way to like the 2020 era. I've been saying the truth about Jordan B. Peterson for years.
If you accommodate people beyond what the environment itself would allow, you misinform them about the world they're going to inhabit. And plus, it can be gamed, and it's being gamed constantly.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite take, which is like, again, such an old grift. You almost appreciate it. It's like nostalgic. You know what I mean? We opened up a time capsule, and Jordan Peterson from 2014 popped out, crawled out of there to just like say the same shit. Like, oh yeah, if we do accommodations in schooling, then these kids are going to be shocked when they find it out in the real world. There's no accommodation in the real world. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, everybody knows that. This is the dumbest, perhaps the dumbest argument that they used to use against safe spaces, right? They were like, you can't have a safe space in a college campus because the world is not safe. It's like, hey, you fucking idiot. That is the entire point of the safe space, because it comes with the recognition that nowhere else do you have just like a free moment where you don't have to constantly debate your identity, for example. That's the literal point. If the entire world was safe and everybody fucking recognized it, then there would be no need for a safe space. It's so stupid. This motherfucker went into a benzo addiction coma and then came back and he still thinks it's fucking 2014. What's happening? And of course, once again, pure projection, pure grift and pure projection. I've never met a conservative that doesn't love having a safe space and a hug box. 90% of their fucking arguments revolve around why liberals don't agree with them. That's like their whole fucking argument is like, oh, well, liberals don't agree with me, which is why we need to bully them until they're forced to. Oh, I got dunked on. I hate that. That's the worst thing that could have ever happened. Let's build a conservative dating site. Surely that'll work. It's like, it's so stupid.
online school, you and your daughter
Yeah.
working together.
Yeah.
What should we know and how do we get it?
Well, we've got about 30.
Yeah, and there it is. And this is the real reason why he's doing this grift, because he, much like Barry Weiss and all these other like intellectual conservatives, are trying to start their own colleges, okay? Fake colleges, taking advantage of like America's awful higher education structure that allows you to just like slap on the word college or a university onto any kind of institution. Barry Weiss did this in Austin, if I remember correctly. What the fuck was it? She made like some nonprofit grift. Trump University is a very famous example of this, obviously. And now Jordan Peterson's getting in on the grift as well.
We hope we'll be ready to roll in November. We want to make sure that we have the best lectures that we can possibly provide.
I mean, this is so awesome because when Barry Weiss did the same exact thing, everybody's just like clowned on her and then it failed. It's just a scam. You want to know how I know? Andrew Tate did it with Hustlers University, bitch. He was there before you. He did it way before you, King. What's happening? Won't catch me in HasanAbi University. I'll be leaving with new pronouns. You're a Daily Wire commentator at this point. That's all you do. You're not a fucking serious professor any longer. Like, you got kicked out of the profession, so you turned around, went to America, just like all of these fucking fallen dipshits do whenever, like, European countries or wannabe European countries like Canada, no Mexico, will kick you out, and then you come to America to continue the grift. Steven Crowder teaches interpersonal relationships in the workplace.
I
Wait,
did
let
some
me hear. I want to hear what he
investigation
has to
into
say about the American education system. Gotta see what brilliant takes this Canadian man has.
Derivation of the American public education system and found out that it was based on the Prussian model. And the Prussians produced a universal education system in the late 1800s because they were afraid they were losing military superiority, and they wanted to produce a cadre of mindless, obedient soldiers.
Okay, public education, much like the military structure, is almost entirely created for some level of public cohesion. Yes, social cohesion. But you would agree with that, I think. Most people would. You kind of need that. You need some level of social cohesion to exist, to cohabitate. You also need like a base level of education. You need like some information that is forcibly fed into you so that you can operate in society.
And then that model was adopted by prototypical fascists in the US, again in the late 1800s. This is before Mussolini and all of that time. Corporate types mostly who wanted to produce cadres of obedient workers. And that's why the desks are in rows, and that's why there's factory bells, and that's why it's top-down leadership. What was really stunning about that—
Wait, what the fuck? What? Dude, this is like straight up anarchism. Like his critique. Wait, what? His critique of the American education structure is quite literally, like, this is, first of all, like, what is he about to say? Like, schools are prisons? Like, what's happening? This is insane. Isn't this Foucault? Isn't he straight up fucking biting Foucault shit? Not that he's, I mean, I'm not saying he's like anarchist or whatever, but like, this is literally, dude, he became what he hates the most, a postmodernist. A neo-Marxist postmodernist. What the fuck? Dude, this paired up with his constant, like him claiming that he wants to be devoid of ideology, is that I think he's still relapsing from the Slavoj Žižek beatdown to this day. He's just like, what happened? Did he start reading all the works and finally start reading all the works and just like rip them, but also claim that he's doing it from like a right-wing perspective? What's going on?
It wasn't only that that was the model, but it's worse than that, because the people who built the schools were consciously aiming at eradicating the will of the students who were part of the system because they wanted them to be obedient.
Is it surprising that the cellular prison, with its regular chronologies, forced labor, its authorities of surveillance and registration, its experts in normality, who continue and multiply the functions of the judge, should have become the modern instrument of penality? Is it surprising that prisons resemble factories, schools, barracks, hospitals, which all resemble prisons? What the fuck? Regimented schools do inhibit creativity and learning. I don't even disagree with that. The problem is, when you're a fucking conservative saying this, you're saying it for an entirely different purpose. Your purpose is the abolition of the education department. Your purpose is to basically only offer charter schools that are private, to drive an even further wedge into those who have and those who have not. You just want to destroy the federal government in its entirety. You don't like the social cohesion or some semblance of social cohesion that public institutions create, and it's supposed to create that so that we can cohabitate with ease, so we can collaborate better. That's why I always say institutes of higher learning have to be fucking free, because that will mean that we have a better educated, more productive labor force that is beneficial for even the capital owners, if you want to think about it from a long-term perspective. These guys don't want that. They want people to be dumber. They want people to not be educated. They want only those who are wealthy enough to come from wealthy families to get these educations, to create an even larger wedge between the underclass, the working class, and the capital owners. Hopefully student debt like this will be a thing in the past once we take off. Wait, what? When I was 17, I went to a Limp Bizkit tattoo, and when they wouldn't let me because I didn't have a guardian's approval, I cried and punched a lamppost. 3 months later, I was allowed to take on $119,000 in loans to go to our school. Wait, how are they funding this institution? Like, what? I mean, that's a banger tweet, but I don't get it. So Jordan Peterson is biting into Foucault's shit super hard, kind of messed up. We will not allow it, not on our watch.